A very good morning, everyone. Purple Sky McGee, right here. Don't know what happened there. Anyway, we're playing Vault 28, The Absent Ghoul, and this is by Gaz Arts. This came out a couple of days ago, I think. Something like that. Anyway, I can't believe I actually missed it, but we're going to play it today. So, what you want to do is come here to Grey Garden and travel, well, the same direction I'm going. And then you'll come across the, what was it called again? There's something out, the Fredrickson place. I think that's it there. Oh, I've got a chef's hat on that helps me jetpack. I've got jets coming out my shoes, which is pretty cool. So, in order to start the quest, we're going to come here, and I think there's some reading in a vault, to be honest. There's a couple of quests, and, oh, the NPCs are all voiced, which is pretty damn cool. Oh, Mr. Fredrickson. I figured you'd be a ghoul. You're not even sitting on your damn chair. Chris Fredrickson. How the devil are you?
Oh, sure. Just come on in, why don't you? In my day, it wasn't that uncommon for people to, get this, actually knock on a door instead
Tough
of
shit.
opening it.
Been here long? Yeah, I'm guessing, because his nose is gone. Quite a setup you have here. Have you been squatting here long? I'm guessing the player doesn't have any kind of voice lines.
Hey, I ain't no squatter, pal. I bought this house fair and square with actual cash money, if you can believe it.
Jumpsuit? You're a mechanic or something? I like the fact that I'm doing all of this before I'm apologising to him.
Mechanic? When was the last time you saw an actual car out there that looks salvageable?
True,
I'm an
that's true.
engineer, kid. A tinkerer of sorts.
Ugh, what are you tinkering with? I apologise, good sir. Oh, I'm sorry, it's just the outside. I assume this place was abandoned. No offence. No offence, sir. I'm in my chef's hat. Like it? I think change the actual hat, though.
Abandoned. You ignorant fuck.
Oh.
I'll have you know, this humble home is as sturdy as the day I bought it. Who cares
Bollocks.
if all the windows are boarded up and there's holes in the roof? It just adds character, you know? Actually, seeing as you are trespassing here, I don't suppose you'd be willing to do this old man a favor.
Oh, God. You'll have a loan? It's spacious place for just one guy. You'll have a loan?
My, you're a nosy one, ain't you? For your information, I used to live here with my husband.
Oh.
But that was decades ago. He's gone now.
You're an engineer, huh? What's that like?
Well, for as long as I can remember, I've enjoyed trying to fix things. That's the one good thing about living in the Commonwealth, kid. There's an abundance of broken shit.
Sure, I'll help. I'd be happy to help, sir.
Really? You would? Well, I wasn't expecting that. I'm not even sure where to begin here. You see, many years ago, me and my husband, Edward, were going through one hell of a rough patch. It was around this time that he started becoming completely obsessed with that damn radio of his. If he wasn't down in the basement working, you could guarantee he was sat in front of that blasted thing. I never did find out who he was talking to. One morning, I woke up, and the guy was gone, just like that. He'd left a note, said he wasn't coming back.
Oh,
Suspected
God.
he went down into the basement, into that tunnel of his. Like I said, we weren't really on talking terms, and I kind of thought he'd lost his marbles. Eventually, I did go looking for him, but I kept getting chased out of there by those damn mole rats. Don't look at me like that. I'm not expecting miracles here. I just need some closure, you know? Here's the key. The basement's down the hall.
Yeah, we can check this. Ooh, yeah. The Absent Ghoul. Track down Edward Freeling. Will do. In fact, I'm going to change my hat right now. Here's the thing I've been thinking about. So they sort of live together, which is, like, fine. But isn't, like, pre-war and Fallout kind of like the 50s here? Or 40s or something? I don't know if that... Would there have been any chance of them living together? Let's see what I can steal. Taking this. Oh, there's quite a bit of reading in this. 2077 journal. 78, 80. Ah. Terminal. I just wonder if I should read these now. Okay, I could just take everything from his house. Hey. Protect one more. Oh. 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 I just made a little protectron. I'll put him in the bin. Oh god. Oh my. Wow. Wow. Whoa. Should I read these in order? Yeah. Before we even go into the basement? Do I dare? Yes. Wow, is that a thingy's cigar? I can't even remember his husband's name. Okay. I should have just hit play. Sheet. There we go. Okay, it's a reading one. It's a reading one. Hold on, let's see. Okay. Just in case it was like pages and pages and pages and pages. I shall slip into reading voice. Ooh. August 15th, 2077. Chris and I set out... I know where I just fell. Chris and I said our goodbyes to the Robinsons this morning as they were building up their furniture into the back of their moving truck. It's such a shame another family lost to Sanctuary Hills. Yes, Sanctuary. Mr. Robinson was nice enough to give us some parting advice, though. It's his opinion that Chris and I are just being stubborn and that we should simply drop our cause. Oh, it took everything in my power not to sock him right in their gut. Thankfully, Chris was holding my hand. Then, well, when will people realise that we will not be pressured into leaving our home? It's nothing sacred anymore. We received another letter this morning from the Housing Association with an even bigger purchase offer. Damn fools. They honestly believe we're holding out for more money. I woke up this morning just in time to see the Abel family leaving. Our neighbourhood is down to just 2 families now. Us and the Whitfields. They've already started tearing down the other homes to make way for that monstrosity behind us. The noise is horrendous, but I still don't care even if they have to build directly over our damn roof. We are not going anywhere. Stand your damn ground. So we received a different kind of letter today. It was from the Housing Association again. But this time the letter had a Vault-Tec stamp on the corner of the page. Apparently, if we agree to sell up, we are being offered a placement in one of their swanky vaults up near Sanctuary Hills. I threw the letter into the trash before even showing Chris. To hell with Vault-Tec. To be honest, man, he's kinda dodged a bullet there. Okay. Okay, 78 journal. There's going to be quite a bit of reading, just to say. Just the one. January 1st, 2078. I know it's been quite a while since I've written anything down here, but in my defence, it's taken a little over 2 months just to get this terminal back in working order. You see, the terminal was one of many things that I own that took the brunt of a nuclear explosion. No, you read that correctly. How did I survive near you? Fuck. How did I survive, I hear you ask? Well, here's the thing, I have no damn idea. One moment I'm sitting in the living room, while writing a strongly worded letter to the Housing Association, and the next I'm looking at this bright flash in the distance. The flash came, followed by a loud rumbling, then intense heat as my own flesh began to melt. All I could do was mentally say my goodbyes, and proceed to pass out from the searing pain. I awoke a few days later, my home practically a burnt-out husk around me, and Chris nowhere in sight. Trying to get up gave me a surprise, as the skin on my back had become fused to the living room floor. Ugh. And I had to, quite literally, rip myself off it. Wonder if it's still on the floor, we can see. After the unpleasantness, I wandered around outside for a while to see if I could find Chris, but he was nowhere to be found. Well, he left long before that, so, he's not going to come back after a nuclear explosion for the tin opener now, is he? On the morning the bombs fell, he had gone into town. What? Oh, okay, so he left afterwards, okay. Okay, I thought this was okay. On the morning the bombs fell, he had gone into town to run some errands. My heart was breaking. The thought that he possibly died out there, possibly alone. When surveying the okay, so it's just the one, but there's a couple of pages. When surveying the damage outside, I was somewhat surprised that most of my garden was still intact. Fortuitously, a delivery truck that was parked out there took the brunt of the initial shock wave. Sadly, my dog Lucy didn't make it. Oh, I buried her. I covered her in berries near the tree. A few days had gone by when I realised I'd been subconsciously avoiding mirrors or any other reflective surfaces for that matter. It was as if my mind wasn't yet ready to see. When I finally did decide to inspect the damage, I let my gaze raise from the tiled floor to the bathroom mirror. It was so much worse than I thought it would be. I was greeted by this ghastly mess staring back at me. My skin was horribly burned and cracked, with bits of skin flaking off in places, and all my hair was gone. After about 2 weeks of feeling sorry for myself, I realised that I wasn't getting weaker or sick. I was actually feeling great. My strength was beginning to return, and my breathing suddenly didn't feel so laboured anymore. My body seemed to be doing quite well in my new environment, but my mind was very close to cracking. I was missing Chris terribly, and I was filled with so much regret. Mostly for not preparing better. I mean, we had so many warnings for months leading up to that awful day. And did I take heed? Did I listen? No, I was stubborn. And as far as I knew, Chris was dead. By the third week, I was sitting outside on the steps, feeling more than a little sorry for myself, when the garden gate opened, and in walked a man who looked like me. Looked like shit. Only difference was he was wearing Christopher's clothes. The next thing I knew, I was holding him and crying. Love is a funny thing. Like me, he looked absolutely terrible. But I honestly hadn't loved the man more than I did that moment. I just want to see what's on this terminal quickly. Please insert your holotape. Ugh. Rude. Okay, Edward's journal. Yeah. Boop. All Chris seems to be doing lately is pissing me off. Every time we try to have a decent conversation, it turns into a fight. I swear the man is getting grumpier in his old age. Sure, we used to have our little quarrels before, but... Sorry, I lost my place. Before, but not like this. You'd think with the life and death scenarios we face on a daily basis, it would put an end to our silly bickering. Maybe it's stress. When we're not at each other's throats, we're either fixing things that broke or we spend countless days on the road scavenging. Well, I mean, nukes or no nukes, marriage is marriage. Just when I was starting to believe our lives couldn't get any more monotonous, Chris barged into the bedroom this morning, all excited. Apparently he'd seen someone during his morning stroll, but said that they had disappeared before he could reach them. He suspects they went into the sewers to avoid him. How rude. How dare you go down into the sewers to avoid my man? Hopefully we will bump into them again. So we finally found the person Chris had seen last week. She was sitting on a park bench near what's left of the lake. As we made our approach, it was easy to see she had gone through a similar transformation as we had, but she wouldn't acknowledge us in the slightest. Chris went to give her a little shake, to snap her out of whatever funk she was in, but I pulled him away. There was something very off about her, vacant expression, and the way she simply stared into the lake. Maybe life out there has driven her mad. July the 1st. Chris was attacked. Oh my. That crazy bitch who hangs out at the lake went for him. Oh, He said when he arrived there this morning she was no longer on the bench, but standing in the water. He said it looked like she was chasing what little fish remained in the lake. Once she'd spotted Chris, she bolted straight for him. It would seem she was no longer docile, but as rabid as those fucking dogs. Chris managed to fire a few shots, and she went down. First time he's ever had to fire a gun at someone. I don't think I like what this new world is doing to us. You know, shit. It's on fire. Oh, I need one of these. I'm gonna take these. I don't need that. I don't need that. I haven't had one of them in months. Okay, we're gonna get to the... Oh, there's two here. But, obviously it's important to read these things. Okay, let's do this. February 3rd. Wow. So it would appear that I'm absolutely awful at keeping a journal. I don't have any excuses other than I only feel like writing about life when I actually have a life to talk about. And quite frankly, the last 20 years have been a complete shit show. The only good thing is that Chris and I are still together, surviving, and both seem to have adapted pretty well to our new lives out here. Chris seems to think whatever happened to us was a blessing. For example, we no longer have to search high and low for clean water anymore, really. He found that out in the yard, out the hard way. The old fool found a carton of water in an abandoned store, just picked it up off the shelf and knocked it back without giving a second thought. As it turns out, the water was highly irradiated. He said he could feel it burning all the way down. Well, that was a year ago. The guy is still marching around, fit as a fiddle. I mean, he's already irradiated. The radiation doesn't really affect the already irradiated, you know. We met two ghouls today over in the ruins of Concord. Is it just ghouls? Did they meet God? What bigots. Yes, you heard me. Apparently that is the name our kind has been blessed with, according to these two strangers. I have to admit it was so refreshing to find two people who looked the way we do and not be complete maniacs. During our conversation, Chris happened to be drinking some water we found when one of the strangers knocked it clean out of his hand. They explained to us that there are two types of ghoul, us and those who went feral. Going feral depends hugely on how the radiation has affected our brain. Turns out we might have to quit drinking the bad water. Yeah, I think that for anyone, ghoul or not ghoul, you always stop drinking the bad water. April 14. You know what I used to take for granted? Telephones. Just being able to have the occasional chin wag with a friend from the comfort of my own armchair. Those were the days. I was discussing this with one of our new friends from Concord, Craig. It was he who switched me into the neat ham radio idea. You'd think with the most powerful, with one of the, oh my god, I cannot read. You'd think with most of the world being dead, and random pockets of irradiated survivors being here and there, I'd have tried to get one working sooner. It's going to be so nice to speak to people again. I mean, no offence to Chris, but that man is becoming increasingly harder to talk to. May the 2nd. In the early hours of the morning, while Chris slept, I snuck off to my office to tinker with my favourite new toy. Oh, so this is a Diary of the Runaway, okay. New toy. Just as the radio was powering up, I noticed that I wasn't on the correct frequency to be able to communicate with Concord. I must have clumsily knocked the dial when powering it off last night. Just as I was about to change the frequency, I started hearing a series of faint beeps. It would seem I'm going to have to dig out my old Morse code book. I almost don't know where to start. I've been having conversations in Morse code for over a week now. Whoever I'm speaking with claims that they are unable to communicate by voice as their transmission signal is too weak. They're also being a little secretive with regards to their location. I might give up communication with them. Dear God. 21:10. This is a lot. I think this might be the last one. February 25th. I'm not going to write any more excuses explaining why it's been 10 years since my last journal entry. But I will say that since discovering the Morse code frequency, my life has gotten a whole lot busier. As it happens, Chris and I aren't doing so well anymore. I mean, I was happy to retire with the man I loved, but retirement was 30 years ago. I'm 93 now, and I just want to leave. Not entirely sure where, but as long as it's far away from here. It's a funny thing to try and wrap my head around, being this age and wanting to go and start a new life. According to Craig, this too is a side effect of our condition. Still feeling in your prime, when you're pushing 100. I suspect me feeling this way also has something to do with Alex, though. Alex is the person I've been communicating with via Morse code all this time. Over the years, we've become quite close. I don't know, it doesn't make sense. How can you develop feelings for someone when all they've done for you is beep at you? That's true. I can't explain it, but through our lengthy conversations, he told me that he is in fact a vault dweller. I can't help think of the irony. If I hadn't been so determined not to let Vault Tech move us to one of their vaults, I could have been with this person in the flesh. Apparently, due to numerous malfunctions that the vault has sustained over the years, it's become almost impossible for them to reach the surface now. Alex gave me coordinates of the vault, and after I've spent days searching the surrounding area for any sign of entrance, I came up with nothing. Wherever the entrance once was, it's not there now. Craig suspects it might have been destroyed during the quakes that came days after the bombs fell. Which means I now spend the majority of my time down in the basement, digging. Yeah, Chris is a little cross with me. Yeah, he's fucking flirting with people over beeps. That is a tacky way to go and flirt with people. People say that things like flour and candy are tacky now, but you flirt over beeps? How tacky is that? See people take the flowers and candy. Okay, so we're gonna go check out the basement, if there's a basement. That was a lot of reading, by the way. That was a lot of reading. I think there's gonna be some terminal entries too, but hope you'll stick in it. What? They've got a new dog. He's not an attack dog, he's a beautiful little dog. Oh, he's got blood all over his nose.